Hello, my name is Dr. Rana Umair Khan, and I am a mentor at OET Med Exam Expert. And I'll be taking your today's webinar regarding tips to master OET writing. So, on behalf of all the team of OET Med Exam, I welcome all of you to this webinar. And the goal of this webinar is to introduce you to OET writing and tell you the tips and tricks on how to ace the OET exam, especially the OET writing subtest with flying colors. So just getting a check that whether all of you can hear my voice. Please confirm in the chat section whether you can hear my voice.
Yes, sir.
So thank you so much for your feedback. So without any further ado, let's start our today's webinar. So hello, my name is Dr. Rana Umair Khan, and I'll be your mentor regarding today's webinar. And our topic is tips to master OET writing. So as all of you know that the OET writing has the most complicated and complex subtest, which is called OET writing. So this is the subtest in which most of the students struggle a lot. Today we will discuss the few tips which can be really helpful for you. So let's start from the time management. Basically, OET writing is all about the time management. Okay. Basically, as when the OET starts, first of all, you are given the listening subtest, then you do the reading subtest, and it is in the third time, when you get the writing subtest. So at that particular time, most of the students feel like they are mentally and physically exhausted. And believe me that if you are not well prepared for this subtest, then you're going to struggle a lot. But don't worry, we have got your back at Med Exam, and we will guide you on how to ace this subtest. So let's start. So basically, OET writing is all about managing time. You get 5 minutes for reading the task. You cannot write anything during this time, even on question paper. So basically what happens is when you are done with your reading subtest, which is on the second number, the reading papers are and answer sheets are collected by the examiners, and you are handed over the writing task. So basically you are then given 5 minutes for the reading task, for the writing task to read it. Okay. Basically it will be a letter. It will be case notes on which you are supposed to write a letter. So these case notes, you have to read them in 5 minutes. You cannot write anything during this time, even on question paper. This time is very important. I'm just giving you a idea of what happens in OET writing subtest. So after 5 minutes of reading case notes, you will get 40 minutes to complete the writing task. So it is the time in which you have to show your performance regarding the writing. And believe me, if you do not manage the time correctly and appropriately, you're going to struggle. But don't worry, we have got your back. So basically, how you're going to manage the time? You have to break down 40 minutes of writing. Use 30 to 35 minutes in writing the letter. Then use 5 to 10 minutes for reviewing the letter. And what you have to do is identify and rectify any mistakes in the letter. So basically, when we write something, we are pretty much confident that it has no mistakes, it is perfect. But believe me, reviewing the letter and identifying the mistakes and then rectifying them is very important, because it is exam. Every exam has its own stress, and definitely you are going to make even tiny mistakes, even people who have a very good grip on English. And if you feel like that your English is average or below average, then definitely it is very important for you to review the letter. So basically, what is the purpose of today's webinar? Today's webinar is all about giving you a orientation regarding OET writing subtest, and how at Med Exam Expert we are going to facilitate you regarding OET writing and overall complete OET. Then comes the case notes. What's important regarding case notes is that you should skim through the case notes. So skimming, what is skimming? Skimming means that you have to, be very agile, very active, and you have to filter out what is important and what is not important, what is relevant and what is not relevant. So basically, if you have seen the case notes of a letter, you will know that it is approximately 400 to 5 words of case notes. So you are supposed to write a letter which is 180 to 200 words. So basically, you have to filter out the information which is relevant. OET writing is all about filtering which information is relevant and what is irrelevant. So for example, you get a letter and you see that there is the name of the patient written. It is important. You can simply add a star on it. Okay, you can underline it, you can encircle it, or you can number it. So basically, what I want to tell you is that there are few strategies with which you can filter out the important case notes, which will help you while writing the letter. So, for example, the name of the patient, the date of birth of the patient, and the presenting complaint. There are few visits in the case notes. For example, 3 to 4 visits on average. Then you can see what was the presenting complaint in the first visit, then second and third, and what was important on examination, what was revealed on examination, and what was revealed in the labs. So all the important stuff, what strategies you can employ to filter out them. You can add stars, you can underline important points, you can encircle the important words, then you can number the notable symptoms and past medical history. So in this way, what will happen when you will finish filtering out the information, you will be able to identify and pinpoint the relevant information. So are you people with me? Are you getting my point? Can you hear me clearly? Please give your feedback in the chat section. So thank you so much, Ms. Faiza and Ms. Angela. So beginning to our webinar. So next important point is how to save the time. I can't stress about saving the time, because most of the people who struggle with OET writing, there are two main things: whether they are not able to complete their letter on time, or they are not able to focus on the grammar. So right now we are talking about saving time. So how we are going to save the time? I would like to advise you that you should just focus on the task. Okay, the task which is required from you will be written at the end of the case notes. For example, they will say that write a letter of referral to this doctor, okay? So you have to see what is being asked from you, what is expected from you. For example, if they are asking you to write a referral letter and you didn't read it in the correct manner and wrote an update letter or transfer letter, so it will be a major mistake. After that, give case notes a superficial read. Superficial read, it will only take 30 to 40 seconds and you will know that what is happening in the letter, how many visits are there, what is the main complaint of the patient, what medications he is taking. Then coming on the jotting down the writing pattern and other details on the paper. So there is a proper format which is expected and which is better to learn for writing OET letters. So if you join our regular course, we guide you in how to write a letter, what are the main components of the letter, what are the main types of the letter. We all discuss it there. But let me tell you that when you start your letter, you have to write the address, date, reference, and name of the doctor. Then you will be finished or you will be completing the first part of the letter. How to write it, we will discuss it in our regular sessions. We take regular sessions of students. You can join us. Then after being able to, done with your first part of the letter, then you can focus on your case notes. This way you will be done with first part of the letter in no time. There is less chance of mistake and all of your focus will be on body of letter. So what is body of letter? After writing the initial details, all the happenings in the letter is dealt in the body of letter. It is the middle portion of the letter. So there are few pro tips which I can, give you, which will be helpful for you. I would advise you to practice at least 30 letters before your exam. And it is for those students who feel like that their English is average. Those students who feel like that they are struggling with writing or their grammar is not up to the mark, they should write at least 50 letters. They may sound a lot of letters, but if you write 1 to 2 letters every day, then you will be able to complete them. Then going on, write the letter with the stopwatch on. If you will be writing the letter in a timed manner, you will be knowing that in how much time you are completing the letter on average. So first of all, if you are writing the letters initially, like for example, for first 5 to 7 letters or 10 letters, you do not need to time the letters. After that, you should, when you know that you are comfortable with the pattern, then you should time your letters so you know that you will be able to complete your letter on time. So my next advice is that after writing each letter, get it checked from a credible source, academy, or you can also send your letters at our regular sessions. You can join our regular sessions. You can get your letters checked from med exam team as well. We have experts who will give you the proper feedback. You will be scored, you will be graded, and you will be informed about your mistakes. So you can get your feedback of your letters and you will rectify your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes and improve. So get help. Getting help is always very important, and most of the students who struggle with OET are struggling with their OET writing subtest. And most of the students who get help regarding OET are seeking help regarding OET writing. So if you feel like that you are struggling regarding OET writing, please do not hesitate to ask for help. Get your letters checked and get feedback. It's better to seek help than appearing in OET again. So as all of you know that it is a very expensive exam for most of the students. So my advice will be that you should get help if you are struggling with OET writing, even if you feel like that you have a very good English and you have very good grammar, then even then I would advise you to get your letters checked and get proper feedback. It is very important. So there were many students, who were overconfident, and I have seen those students failing in the exam because of OET writing. Next tip is, do not take it easy. It is an exam, and exam is an exam. There is a common perception or myth found among, especially among doctors, that OET is very easy, and another myth is that I would request the management team to please mute the participants. I would like to request the management team to please mute the participants. Thank you so much. So we were talking about the myths. So another common myth is that OET is easier as compared to IELTS. So that is not true. It can be true to some extent, but it has its own complications, especially regarding, time management. So getting back to the letter, do not take it easy. Do not write rough. Only focus on your original letter. In OET writing subtest, they give you a proper booklet and they will say you that if you want to write something rough, you can write at the second or third page of the booklet. But that is just a distraction. You do not have enough time to write rough. So I would advise you to just focus on your letter and do not write anything rough on the booklet. Okay. Some people, they will say that if I write rough, I will get an idea on how to write the letter, or I can write a perfect line if I practice it first. So I will advise those students that if you want to practice it before the exam, not in the exam. So writing is after listening and reading. So as I told you, that you are mentally exhausted, you are physically exhausted, you have to focus a lot in the reading and listening subtest. So I would advise you to practice this subtest most, as you will be super exhausted and you have 40 minutes to write the letter. Consider this subtest the most challenging. And why it is most challenging? It is because of most of the people struggle with the grammar, and most of the people struggle with the tenses. Most of the people do not know the format of the letter. Most of the students do not know that there are many other types of the letter other than referral letter. It can be there can be a transfer letter, there can be a discharge letter. So to know everything about it, we are here to help you at MedExam expert team. You can join our regular sessions, which are happening every month, and we are there to guide you. So basically, guidance is very important. Whether you join us or not, you should definitely get guidance. And especially, I would like to focus regarding OET writing. So there are a few general instructions which may seem very so childish to you, but they are very important and they can play a very vital role in passing the exam. For example, sharpen your pencils before the exam. Take at least 4 to 5 pencils with you. You are provided with a pencil and a razor and a sharpener in the exam, but if you take 4 to 5 pencils with you, how will they be helpful to you? When you will be writing, after a while, you will feel like that the pointer of the pencil is getting, thick, and it is not as neat as it should be. So to be more presentable, you can always use your reserve pencils. If you feel a big chunk of your letter is not correct, instead of raising simply cut it like this, as raising will take lots of time and leave your paper untidy. So this is very important. While you are writing the letter, most of the students, they are expected to make a mistake. It can be a simple mistake, or it can be a whole paragraph, or it can be a whole line. So if you will start raising during your letter, there will be many negative points for you, because you will be mentally, feel like that your time is being wasted, or you have not written correctly. And even if you manage to raise it and you write it on the raised lines, you will feel like that the letter is not looking so tidy. So instead of raising, you should just cut it like this. This will not affect your grade. and you will be not negatively marked regarding this. So basically, the purpose of this webinar is to introduce you to OET writing and tell you what mistakes are expected during the writing the letter and how you can avoid them. There are many other things, and there is a lot spectrum of things and instructions and tips we provide you, and you can definitely join us to know more about it. So there is one final tip. If you are out of time and only 5 minutes are remaining, then you should wind up your letter and write the last two concluding lines and finish your letter. So why it is important? Sometimes when you're writing the letter in the exam, you feel like that, you have very less time, but you focus on the body of the letter and you say that if I write the body of the letter completely, then definitely I'm going to pass. And the last concluding lines and the finishing lines and the salutations are not important. But I want to inform you that every part of the letter is marked separately, it carries separate marks. For example, the initial portion of the letter has separate marking, the body of the letter is marked separately, and the last concluding lines and finishing salutations are marked separately. So you have to complete everything. If you feel like that while advancing towards the end of the time, you are not able to complete your letter, just finish it as soon as possible. Write two concluding lines and then write the finishing salutation. In this way, you will at least get the marks for your pattern of the letter, format of the letter. Format of the letter is very, very important. So basically, this was all about the few tips and tricks I wanted to inform you. This was just, an introductory webinar. Definitely in our regular sessions, we discuss about the different types of the letters, how to write them, what is the format of the letter, and what are the mistakes. And definitely we ask the students to send their letters to us. We mark them, we grade them, give our feedback to the students. So I would advise you to join us, and definitely we are going to help you. We are here to ensure that you ace your exam with flying colors. So what we have discussed so far, if there is any ambiguity regarding that, you can ask, and definitely I will answer all of your queries. So if you have any queries, please type them in the chat section and we will address them after 2 minutes. So all the participants are requested to send their queries in the chat section. You have 2 minutes. So waiting for your queries in the chat section. We'll answer them collectively at the end. So while waiting for the queries, I would like to tell you about the different types of the letters you are expected to get in the OET exam. Most common letter is the referral letter. Then you can also get an update letter. You can get a transfer letter. Then you can get a discharge letter. So to ace this exam, you have to know the format of all these letters, as any letter can come in the exam. There is no pet format or pet, you can say that compulsion that only referral letter will come. So referral letter is the most simplest one, but you can also get discharge, transfer, or update letter as well. So here are a few queries in the chat section. Let's proceed to the chat section. So there was Miss Khadija. She said that she cannot hear me properly, but Miss Faiza said that the voice was clear. So there may be an issue in the internet connection. So we have a first question actually from two participants. The same question is that can we use the pencil in the exam? So that is very important. As I mentioned in my webinar that you have to take 4 to 5 sharpened pencils with you. You can also write with the pencil, you can also write with the ballpoint, but my advice will be that you should write with the lead pencil. What is the benefit of the lead pencil? You can, raise anything. You can, you will be able to amend any mistakes. But if you write with the ballpoint, you will not able to rub it with the razor. So my advice, and 90% of the students attempt their paper with the lead pencil. So I will stick to the lead pencil. So Dr. AZ asks, is there any limit on the number of words? How would we know if a letter is too short or too lengthy? So that is a very, very good question. And I'm happy that you asked this question. Yes, there is a limit of the number of the words. You have to write your letter in a range of 180 to 200 words. So I have, we tell these things in our regular sessions, but let me tell you this simple tip, which is very important, which I devised with myself while appearing in the exam. When I practiced, I was also very much unsure that how I'll be able to count the words. It will take a lot of time, but there is a very simple trick. For example, when you write, just observe your pattern. If you feel like that on average you write 7 to 8 letters in one line, then you can simply multiply it or simply divide it by 200 and you will get the lines in which you have to contain yourself. For example, if you write 10 words in a line on average, then how many lines you require to complete 200 words? It will be simply 20 lines. Then Dr. Geeta asks, when we write date at top like 14 Feb, so in body also same pattern or we use this pattern? So Dr. Geeta, there are many patterns to write the date, but the one you wrote first is wrong and the second one is correct. But if you join our regular sessions, then we will definitely tell you on how to write different patterns of the dates and what is the format of the letter. Then Dr. Faiza asks, do we get a break after listening, reading, or all in one go? Yes, this is very important. I told all of you that you do not get any break after listening, reading, and in between reading and writing. You have to attempt the three subtests: reading, listening, and writing in one go. Then Ms. Sadia Malik asks, in discharge letter and transfer, we should write chronological order or most important visit first? Well, that is a very important question. And we will tell all these details in our regular sessions. We get your letters and we check it. We give you feedback. You can join our session and to get your answers in detail. But I will tell you that chronological order is not important in these letters. You have to see what is important and relevant. Sometimes you can also write discharge and transfer letters in a chronological order, but it depends on case notes. Dr. Geeta asks, can we omit social history or write? So if there is a significant finding and it is relevant to your letter, then you will write, otherwise you will omit. Then Miss Mishal asks, yes, you can again mention the date of birth in the introductory paragraph. There is nothing wrong with it. Will there be negative marks if we exceed our word limit? So Mr. Khurram asks, there is a negative marking if we exceed our word limit. As I told you that official, you know, Official ranges from 180 to 200 words, but I have seen if you have a good English and you have a good grip in English and you write 210 to 215 words, even 220 words, there is no negative marking, you know. But I would strongly suggest you to stick to the range of at least 190 to 210 words, and more appropriately to 180 to 200 words. Another question is, for date on letter, do we have to put in exam date of the date or the latest visit in the task notes? Well, Mr. Khurram, in every exam, they write the date of the exam in the latest visit. So do not worry about it. So it was a very, very interactive session, and we had lots of queries, and I tried to answer them, and I tried to give you the most important tips and tricks. So let's proceed forward. So basically here at Med Exam Expert, we have our OET live course, which is of 1 month duration. So what we offer in these sessions, we believe that practice makes everything perfect. So basically we help you and facilitate you in our 16 live sessions. We have live sessions. We also provide practice materials, and we have something add-ons. So in 16 live sessions, you have 4 live sessions of each subtest. You have given 4 live sessions for reading, 4 for listening, and 4 live sessions for writing, which I will be conducting, and I will be telling you all types of letters, all mistakes you are expected to do, and how to rectify them. Okay, and I will make sure that you pass your exam. And I would like to tell you about our last session participants. All of our participants in of last session have cleared their exam and aced their exam with flying colors. Not even a single student remained unsuccessful. So that is a very important achievement for us. So in speaking, we have 4 live sessions in which we provide one-to-one speaking as well. You can practice with us with our mentors. So in practice materials, we have reading exercises with the answer keys, listening exercises with the answer keys, speaking role play cards are provided for practice, and writing case notes for practice are also provided. And in add-ons, we have 3 letter writing assessment with proper feedback. You will be graded. You will be told the score you have achieved, and you will be provided with the proper feedback. We have study room guidance. We have WhatsApp groups for it. Session recordings are accessible for later revision, and we have 24/7 technical support as well. So basically, in a nutshell, we are here to facilitate you, and we want you to ace your exam, and we will be helping you in every way possible. So regarding writing subtest, I'll be always there, and you can send me your queries if you join our regular sessions in your letters, and they are marked, they are graded, and you get a score and you get feedback, and you are individually given the tips and tricks on how to ace your exam. So that was a very good session. And as you can see in the chat section, for further live sessions, practice material, and course details, please contact us this number. So you can note the contact number at the chat section. You can contact our management team, and they will provide you the details regarding the regular sessions and how you can join us, and we will facilitate you to ace this exam. So thank you so much for coming in today, and it was a great session, and there were lots of good questions, and I hope that you will be joining us, and we will help you to pass your exam. So take care, have a nice day ahead, and best wishes for you. Thank you.